The NFL season wraps up with Tampa Tom earning ring 7 after taking down Mahomes and the Chiefs. We review how the big game went, cover some NFL news, and bring you part 2 of our new segment. All this and more in 20 seconds. Hey, fellow fanatics, welcome back to the Average Bros Fantasy Show, sponsored by Football Darts and Fantasy Sports Alliance. As always, I am joined with my average brother, Kevin. Kevin, how you doing tonight?
I am doing just dandy. How about yourself?
I am doing a little below average. I thought the Super Bowl would have been better than what it was. However, I fell asleep before halftime. I didn't even get to see the halftime show just because it was unbelievable.
Well, the halftime show, you didn't really miss too much there. I know we're going to dive into the game a little bit, but halftime was a little early for me. Wanted to make sure that Timeless Tom put the stamp on it.
And we have Chris here tonight with us. Chris, how you doing? And before we get into our show tonight and all the little tidbits we have to cover, we would like to thank our broadcast sponsor, Football Darts. Football Darts is a dart game that combines the skill of traditional darts with the strategies of American football. This innovative dart game is played on a uniquely designed multiple target dartboard. It can be played in sports bars, at tailgate events, as league tournaments, or as a leisure activity in the comfort of your home. If you would like to check out their officially licensed collegiate dartboards, go to footballdarts.com. And if you like the show, please like, share, and subscribe to the show, and follow us on all of our social media outlets that you can see here at the bottom of the screen, as well as check out our website, fsa-fr.com. And of course, please head on over and check out Brad, Josh. Actually, I'm sorry. Don't check them out because I don't believe they're doing a show this week, are they?
I don't believe so, no.
Yeah, I know Eric, for one, is kind of got his hands full with the new member in the family. And we have Kim here with us tonight. What's going on, Kim? How you guys doing? Chris said he's doing very average, and then said, Kevin, did you get a hole in your head?
That's because my light was messing up there with the green screen, but we've got it fixed, I hope.
There's a bunch of ups and downs to having a green screen.
Yeah, you think you have it all right just before showtime, and then bam, issues. So, but we got it fixed out there.
When isn't there issues? We have
that's a good point.
We have Maria here with us tonight. How you doing, Maria? Kim says she's doing good. I hope so. I know the snow isn't helping over here. But let's dive into, the big game. I was told that apparently we're not allowed to say it. So, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, we put it in our show description, so I hope we are.
I didn't even see the show description.
So I'll start it off. Obviously, Tom Brady wins another Super Bowl, ring number 7. Winningest player of all time, now has more Super Bowl rings than any organization as a whole, beating out the Steelers, who have 6. What were your thoughts as far as the game plan that we had said for each team to win versus the way it had gone?
I think that I'm blanking on the head coach's name. Tampa Bay's head coach.
Oh, Bruce Arians.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking Todd Bowles and Bruce Arians are like watching the show or something, because they did exactly what we said. They took out the deep ball in Tyreek Hill. They weren't really able to take out Travis Kelce, but they did just enough. And pretty much basically what they said themselves was they gave up on the blitz. They trusted their D line and just focused on Hill and Kelce, and it worked.
Yeah, I mean, that was almost word for word the way that myself and your average advice had gone through and broken it down, right? Get there with three. You can't send four because of Mahomes' legs. And if you do send four, it's got to be really quick. Then watch the underneath stuff with Kelsey. You don't let him get behind you or run through you. And then they did let up a couple plays to Hill, but they didn't get beat. They chipped
Mm-hmm.
him early and stayed in front, kept him in front of you, and you're good to go for the game. Um, and then obviously a couple of um, key plays on defense, making them run those 3 and 4 and outs, and then just moving forward with the ball. Mahomes having no time back in the pocket and really letting Brady do his thing on the other side.
Chris says, "Do we have to talk about it?" Unfortunately, we do. I mean, how do you think I felt when, a couple weeks back we had to talk about Tom Brady taking down Drew Brees and the Saints, and then now to talk about that team winning the Super Bowl? Uh, should have been, black and gold winning it, you know, yeah,
Yeah.
they, um,
Speaking of beating Breeze, it was the first time ever that a team had beaten um, three former Super Bowl MVPs in the same playoffs.
I saw that post and I thought it said beating former MVPs and I'm like, wait, Breeze has never been an MVP. I didn't see the whole the
Yeah.
Super Bowl part, but um but yeah, it didn't help on the Chiefs part that they were down two linemen, I believe, and Tampa Bay was just picking apart their linemen like it was nothing. I mean, Mahomes was still able to do what Mahomes does using his legs and everything. There actually was one play that I saw looked amazing on the throw just for his receiver to drop it. So I wouldn't 100% put it on
Well,
Mahomes.
the one throw was iffy. If it's the one I'm thinking about on the sideline touchdown grab where he was falling out of bounds, I think that was more of just a desperation play than a actual shot to the end zone. Um,
It was a good pass, don't get me wrong, but it just hit the receiver's hands and fell to the ground.
yeah.
And then
And go ahead.
I was gonna say on Tampa Bay's side for their offense. I mean, they got, it's just like old times, Tom the Gronk, and they got a run game going. They were getting, everybody else involved besides their top two receivers in Evans and Godwin. I think Godwin only had like 2 receptions for 9 yards.
Well, yeah, that was the thing is when they pretty much mixed it up all night long. You had both running backs involved with Fournette and Ronald Jones. You had every receiver involved. Scotty Miller made his appearance. Gronk, obviously, with the 2 touchdowns. Evans and Godwin, got in just enough to take the pressure off the others and make you respect their play. Almost reminiscent, if you watch this game, to what the Saints had done to Tampa in the second meeting. Spreading it out so much that way you can't tell where this ball is going to go to next. And obviously, Tom, fantastic with time and presence in the pocket. So, made it look easy, even for his age at 43.
Yeah, well, hopefully that reign comes to an end soon. And I'm not just speaking for myself. I'm speaking for just about everybody who isn't a Tampa Bay or Tom Brady fan.
Well, listen, before it was I don't want to see the Patriots win the Super Bowl, right? Now it's just Tom Brady and himself. And I think doing it on a second team, what do you think that does for his legacy overall? Do you think before this there was any questions of the GOAT? Do you think that there should be moving forward of any? And where does this put him in the sports realm as overall great players?
Well, I mean, as a player, people can hate him all they want. I mean, like I said, whenever I think of Tom Brady, I think of the game where I forgot who it was. I believe it was like him and Moss. You know, I don't know if it was Moss or somebody else. I believe it was that far back when they lost a game and both of them just ran straight to the locker room instead of shaking hands. Every time I think of Tom Brady, I think of that moment. But however, as far as the stat sheet goes, I think just the stats alone just say how good of a player he is and just proves that he is the greatest of all time.
Yeah, I mean, obviously being a fan of the Patriots and liking Tom Brady throughout his career, I think that there are some moments that are obviously questionable. After the Super Bowl loss to the Eagles was one time where he did not go out and shake hands after the fact. He's done it a couple of times in the heat of the moment. I believe he's done it to golf a few times. Um, but if you think about it, I always put myself in those shoes. Granted, I understand you're on a huge stage, and I know that you have to that we preach professionalism and sportsmanship. But I've also been in those shoes as an athlete, at any level where you get so frustrated with the game, the situation where you don't want to talk to anybody, regardless of how it seems on camera. So I mean, obviously that this is a higher level, and you should be able to step over that and and still put on the smile and the face. But sometimes it's a little bit harder than some people might think that it is or prove it to be. But regardless, as he said, he's obviously the greatest of all time, bar none, no questions anymore.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much just what comes into play with your paycheck. When you get that paycheck, that includes having that professionalism.
MJ on with us saying, "Hey everyone, good evening, MJ." Um, and I think that I think one day we could see somebody go over it and um, unthrone Tom Brady as the greatest of all time. In your opinion, do you think at this point Mahomes still has that ability to do so with all the other tough competition and stats that he's put up himself?
Well, let me put it this way: it's not if Mahomes can do it. If Roger Goodell allows it, because after this Super Bowl, I'm sorry that I've never seen the Chiefs offense so staggered and immobilized before. Like, why this game? Like, it just makes me believe that the NFL, and we've been talking about this for a little bit now. It just makes me believe that the NFL is a little bit staged. I mean, the refs
Yeah,
weren't helping at all either.
I don't disagree. You think that the refs caused you to lose 31-9? That's not
Well,
even close.
okay, let me put it this way: the one drive I saw, there was a bad punt. It was 29 yards. Mind you, there was the first punt, which he bobbled it a little bit, had a good punt. It was like a 40-yard something punt. There was a penalty on that, which backed him up more. Then he muffs the punt and only kicks it like 20 something yards. And then I believe it was a stretch of 3 plays that there were like defensive holding calls. It was just unbearable. The Buccaneers were getting such a huge break just because of defensive penalties. And I'm like, how do you, and the one penalty didn't even look like a defensive holding. I mean, they even the announcers were saying it was, but I'm saying where was he holding him at?
Yeah, I put it this way. It, yes, there's calls, but what if it was the other way? What if it was, you know, the Chiefs getting the calls versus Tampa? I mean, you should never leave a game in the situation where the refs decide the game. And to me personally, 31-9 does not say that. Yes, there could have been a couple bad calls, but a couple bad calls does not make you lose that greatly. I mean, it's just poor play all around, personally.
And here's the man of the hour himself. Brady is the best male athlete in the WWE, and we didn't even know it. Trust me,
I
I
mean,
think I
Gronk was in the WWE for a little bit, so
Gronk was in the WWE. Gronk was on like Mass Singer. Gronk did everything during his short time of retirement. But I think I should know first-handedly how refs can control the game. I'm putting that out there now. I'm playing my New Orleans card, and we all know the what was it, the NFC Championship game a couple years
2 years
back.
in a row,
Well, yeah, 2 years in a row. When what
both
was
against the Vikings.
Oh yeah, there was the Minneapolis Miracle. Well, that wasn't
Yep.
the ref. That was just a rookie who made a rookie mistake. And then the second time was a
Was the
missed.
PI rule change?
I feel like there was a missed offensive pass interference, and then there was the one against the Rams with the like clearly missed defensive pass interference. But we get by it. We expect it every year, pretty much.
As you should, because you suck.
Do you have anything else you want to add to the Super Bowl? Did you like the commercials at least?
Some of them were funny. I liked the Beavis and Butthead commercial. That
Yeah,
was
I said this at work last night. I know there's a lot of people who strictly watch the Super Bowl just for the commercials, and I really like it that they go all out on the commercials.
Well, yeah, you figure it's usually the highest viewed television event of the year for the most part. That not excluding pay-per-views. So that's huge. Damien chimes back in with us and says Gronk deserves to be the MVP of the Super Bowl. Brady managed the game but didn't do anything outside. Outstanding beyond forcing personal fouls. I mean, that's part of the game. I do it in Madden personally when you know it's there to go get.
Oh my goodness, yes, he does. He did it once to me, and I didn't allow it to happen after that. But with that being said, that wraps up the recap of the Super Bowl, aka the big game at the end of the season when the two top teams play against each other. And that brings us to the NFL news.
AKA the Tom Brady Invitational Bowl.
Might as well be called that now. But that brings us into the NFL news brought to you by the Recast, the official music of FSA. And I think we'll kick it off with what you said prior to the show tonight. I didn't even see it yet. And I'll let you say it.
Yeah, so Lesean McCoy retires from the NFL after having back-to-back Super Bowl wins with 0 snaps played in either game.
See, and that's the thing is that when you tell it to people, you don't have to say you didn't play it down. All you have to say is, I won. Yeah, you retired off of winning 1 Super Bowl. I retired off of winning 2 Super Bowls back to back. And I did. And you don't even have to include that you didn't play it down.
Yeah, and what's funny is because both times for the Chiefs last year, he was inactive the couple of games before battling injury. They activated him for the Super Bowl. And he was a healthy scratch a couple of games in a row for them. Then this year, same thing. If they needed a spot, it was usually McCoy to be an active scratch or a healthy scratch, whatever you want to call it, because they already have Keyshawn Vaughn, Ronald Jones, and Fournette, so he was 4th man, but it just happened to get there early enough in the year before they knew what they had in the rookie and before they signed Fournette. So,
and the other big news that Brian told me, I feel he said it was necessary to involve it was where is it? Marty Schottenheimer passes away at 77 due to Alzheimer's. And then just a tidbit that they included in the post, he had 205 wins in 21 seasons. That is a long time.
Yeah, definitely a remarkable career as a head coach, and definitely our condolences and prayers sent out to his family. Hate to see it, but obviously a legacy left regardless.
Yeah, of course. I mean, anybody who leaves a mark in the NFL. I mean, just like somebody like him, just you got to think there's somebody like him and then like a bunch after him that just inspires so many people. I know Breeze made a post about him saying that he always recalls, like, I believe it was quotes that he was saying or something like that. But yeah, stamp in the NFL, definitely. And on to much less important news. Speaking of the Jets, Jets are looking at Juju and Will Fuller as a free agent pickup.
Yep. Will Fuller, I believe he was cut, right? So he is already a free agent out on the market.
I don't think they ever cut him.
Or are they just not re-signing?
I know he got suspended.
Yeah, I believe they cut him because of the suspension.
Oh, then that would have been a while ago, so I probably forgot it if they did. We have
I
my
believe so. Have
we
one
have
of
my
our
sit.
stat guys check in on that.
Yeah, we don't have a stat guy tonight. Unfortunately, he's busy preparing for tomorrow night's show, which I mean,
Yes. By the way, while we bring it up, and we
yeah.
still have our thousands of viewers watching at home. Tomorrow night on the Fanatically Real broadcast, we will have the yearly award show, the end of the year awards, where we will give out um, awards to our rookie general manager and general manager of the year. Definitely something you guys are want to go to check in for the last show of the season. I'll be there with Brian and special guest host Average Josh over here. Um, so make sure you hop on 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Set your alarms, mark your calendars, be there or be square.
So Chris says Will Fuller will be easy as he misses 6 games, right?
I I don't remember how much he had left on the suspension.
And then Damien says, I don't believe he was cut. I don't think so. I remember there was a suspension, but I don't remember seeing anything about him being cut.
I
But out of the
I know
I,
that I know they cut a receiver. I just don't. Oh, it might have been. Was it Kenny Stills? I'm thinking of who they cut.
I believe it was, yeah, Kenny Stills. Because he's with, yeah, I believe he's with somebody else now. I don't exactly know who it is, but I know he's with somebody else.
That's probably who I'm thinking of. And then Juju is also.
Yeah, I think out of those two, I would rather have. Well, I mean, Will Fuller has proven that he can be the number one. I feel Juju was more of an asset when he was considered a number two next to Antonio Brown. And Damien says Randall Cobb was the one that got cut. I couldn't remember if it was Randall Cobb or Kenny Stills. Chris says everything I'm looking at is referring to Will Fuller of the Texans. Yeah. So he still is technically a Texan, I guess, until his contract is up, which I guess is this year since Jets are targeting him as a free agent. And then on to other news. Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I believe that the only way that's going to work is if they go get both.
What? Sorry, you're like cutting out really badly. Okay. And we are slowly losing Kevin as his internet is taking a poo poo. And it's just me. So on to other news. Patrick Mahomes, he was playing in the Super Bowl with an injury. I believe it was turf toe, which they said during the game that he actually is going to have surgery on it afterwards. Damien says Walmart. He's trying to come back in. Panthers are still, I believe they are still shopping Bridgewater. They actually tried to get Stafford for the 8th overall pick, Bridgewater, and an 8th round. However, I mean, anybody would have chosen the Rams' offer over that. Russell Wilson frustrated with getting pressured too much, and he wants a bigger role in personnel. I believe I saw a post on Bleacher Report that said, what was it? That he wasn't sure if he was going to be in Seattle by next season, but I mean, let's be honest, we all know that he is going to be in Seattle. I mean, like the dude's like that's his team. And honestly, that is all I have as far as NFL news. And we were supposed to get into our next segment where we take the top 12 running backs from last year's redraft draft. And me and my below average brother were supposed to rank them first to 12th. Oh, here he is. Damien says Cowboys dropping
And I am
official.
back. I apologize for the technical difficulties.
There still are difficulties, to be honest. You are still like bugging out. Cowboys drop an official hype video for the 2021 season. Dak was not in the video. I think that they'll try, like they're gonna try and bring him back as long as they can find his price tag. Honestly, they like if you look at the beginning of the season, like you knew what he was able to
I
do.
think they
Yeah, Kevin, your internet is not getting any better. I'll tell you that right now. If you guys want to know what it's like behind the scenes, this is exactly what it's like behind the scenes.
Is that any
And
better? Can you hear me now?
yes, yes, I can hear you now. So what do you
Yeah,
think?
so I was saying that I believe they will bring Dak back, that they will just franchise tag him again.
Oh yeah, I think that they'll bring him back because of just like what he can do with the team, and apparently that is Zeke's Kickstarter to actually putting in some work. But with that being said, that wraps up the NFL news brought to you by the Recast, the official music of FSA. And that brings us into our new segment. And I'm going to hand it over to Kevin since he's the one coming up with all of these ideas. If I can hand
Yes,
it
I
over to Kevin.
believe. Just make sure I got the list pulled up. What I'm going to do is go through the top 12 of the average draft position of last year's redraft between the 6 regions. And I have the top 12 listed out. And we're going to compare my list of this year and Josh's top 12 moving forward, who we see should be drafted in the top 12 versus where they were taken last year. So
So
at number 1 last year was CMC at ADP 101.
I'll let you go first on it. Where do you think he's going?
Have him staying at 101. I think that
So,
the games that he did play and the production that he can put up keeps him high, regardless of the injury issues. I think he can overcome and come back.
yeah, I have him going as the first running back just because of name recognition and like obviously this past season was kind of just a write off. Like people weren't really gonna hang their hat on
Mhm.
it because they know it was just pure injury. However, I don't see him going at 101. I see Mahomes going before him, but I do see him being
Well,
the
yeah,
first
I
running
don't
back.
see Mahomes. I don't see him going 101 again, but I do. Yeah, I agree. I see him as my list is going to be just in order of running backs. I see him the first running back out of the 12.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Then number 2 on the list of 12. Let me pull up my handy dandy list here. Was Saquon Barkley in the ADP for last year?
Saquon, I'm gonna say he drops. I have him going at third, just because, like I said, I think it's the same situation as CMC.
I'm you know
Go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say I'm right there with you. I also have him at 3, and I see somebody coming up around him. Um, I have in his place at the second slot is Kamara.
Wow, we're actually on the same page here. Yeah, I have Kamara at number 2 as well. Especially since we're moving up to the full PPR in redraft.
Yeah, I mean that's the main reason why I think that CMC stays 1 as well, just because of the point value. Even if he comes off sluggish from the injury, there's still the added bonus of what he does receiving out of the backfield, of which he does probably the most out of anybody in the league.
And who do we have at number 3?
3 from last year's ADP is Zeke.
Oh goodness, I have him all the way down at number 6.
Yeah, I see him falling as well. My 3 this year is I'm going to put Cook at 3. I think
Yeah,
that he missed a couple. I believe he missed a couple of games, and he's improved year over year. I think he just keeps getting better. I think that with the receiving tandem that they have to allow them to open that game up a little bit more, I believe he does extremely well this year.
my top 3 so far, I have CMC, Kamara, and Saquon.
Well, yeah, I have CMC, Kamara, Saquon, then Cook at 4.
Who do we have? Who is number 4?
4 was Kamara in the ADP from last year,
Okay.
and we had both already put him at 2.
So yeah, I put him up to 2. Number 4, I have Henry going.
I have Cook, who on the ADP is our next guy at 5.
Yeah, I have him staying at 5. I agree with you. I agree with you
And,
on the.
and I have Henry at 5.
I agree with you on the whole having the wide receiver tandem there really helps his output. It takes pressure off of him and makes him feel like he isn't the only guy there. However, I think it's hard to push down the man who broke 2,000 yards last year and was just an absolute workhorse. And I think that he could easily put up another season like that.
Do you think he can do back-to-back 2,000-yard seasons?
Maybe not 2,000 yards, but I mean, it'd be pretty close. I'll tell you that, especially since he doesn't really have that receiving aspect that you would find in your Kamara or I don't know who else. Maybe you could say Cook possibly or Barkley, but he makes up for it with his rushing yards and with his rushing touchdowns. And I believe we lost Kevin yet again. His internet is just absolutely not having it tonight. Pretty much, I'm going to go with my full 12 here. I'm just going to go with my full 12 here. There was just 2 of you.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened, but somehow I think we're back in business here.
Yes.
So
Now we are.
let me run through the ADP so far. I believe we were through 6 as we overcome some more technical difficulties, folks.
More
Uh,
than usual. So I'm
yeah.
surprised on this one.
Number 1 through 6, we had CMC, Saquon Barkley, Zeke, Kamara, Cook, and Henry at 5. Next up at 6 on the ADP was Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So far through 5, through 6, on my rankings going into this year where they should be taken is CMC, Kamara, Barkley, Cook, Henry, and at 6, uh, Taylor.
Oh, I completely forgot we can pull people from outside the 12. Oh man, that changes things up now. 6, you have Taylor going. Well,
Yeah,
first off, I'm gonna change Cook and Henry. I completely didn't see that Cook did miss 2 games. And if he had he played those 2 games, he would have been ahead of Henry as far as fantasy points.
that's the thing is Henry has the yards, but he's good from 20 to 20 big yardage. When they get into the red zone, it was little dump offs um, to Corey Davis and AJ Brown and the other weapons they've got there.
So number 6, I'm gonna stay with Zeke. I'm gonna stay with Zeke purely because of name. I think that at this point you're in round 2, and I think that if somebody sees him at maybe a 203, they're gonna be like, "Oh, I can't let him go past that." So I'm keeping Zeke at number 6.
And I'm gonna put Zeke at 7 for myself going into next year. I think that um, with the question marks at quarterback, if they tag Dak again, how much heart does he have going into the season? He already threatened to hold out last year over the tag and not getting paid. So that's a locker room drama on top of Zeke, who just got paid and is underperforming. Um, I don't see good things happening there, especially when they didn't play well with all of the weapons that they've got. Obviously, with Amari Cooper and drafting CeeDee Lamb, so I don't see anything good happening in Dallas.
I'm kind of restructuring my list right now purely because I completely forgot we were allowed to pull people from outside of the list.
All right, so on to the next out of the ADP. Going down the list, we have at 9, I believe it is Chubb. Or sorry,
We
8
should be at
is Chubb.
who is at 7?
CMC 1, Barkley 2, Zeke 3, Kamara 4, Cook 5, Henry 6, 7,
Clyde.
CEH,
Okay.
8, Chubb is where we're at.
So in the eighth spot is where I see Taylor going. And oh look, we have Jenna hopping on here with us tonight. Jenna, how are you doing?
I'm going to keep Chubb right there at 8.
At 8. Okay. Chubb, I have him falling, but not too far.
I mean, where did he finish overall? I think he was right around that number anyway.
Uh Chubb
Pretty
was
dead
11.
on. Oh, Hunt jumped him?
Yes, Hunt was at 10 and Chubb was at 11th by a third of a point.
And Chubb missed time, though.
Yes, Chubb missed 4 games and Hunt missed none.
Yeah. So I'm going to stick with what I had and keep him right at 8.
So for my top 8 so far, I have CMC, Kamara, Barkley, Cook, Henry, Zeke, Aaron Jones, Jonathan Taylor, and yeah, that's it. Jonathan Taylor at number 8. Jenna says she's hopping off. Good night, fellas. Jenna, I hope you have an above average night, and we hope to see you tomorrow at our annual FSA award ceremony. And yeah.
I'm gonna head. I'm gonna put Jones at 9 here. Somebody that I forgot about. I will say he is not in the ADP 12 from last year. I think he finished very well this year. Did miss some time. I don't think he finishes as well again. Um, so I think 9 is where I'll keep him
So
or put him
Aaron
rather.
so Aaron Jones missed 2 games and came in at 6th.
Yeah, I'm gonna put him at 9. You got some healthy guys coming back in CMC, and in Barkley. Good play for some rookies coming up. Well, rookies this season, and Taylor jumps up above him. I think so. Yeah, 9.
Number 9, I have Nick Chubb coming in. Like I said, he falls a little bit, not too far. It's just pretty.
Yeah.
I'd rather have an Aaron Jones and a Jonathan Taylor because those are like pure number ones on their respective teams. There's not really anybody there that they're like sharing the workload with. Like for Chubb, he does have Hunt there, and they do split the workload. But he's at the end of the day, he does still get his numbers.
9 on the ADP from last season was Josh Jacobs. Obviously, we both see him falling just a bit.
So we're at 9 right now.
Well, 9 on the ADP. We already gave our 9s.
Okay.
In Hunt and Chubb. So we both
Yeah.
see Jacobs falling. Did well though. He improved off of his rookie year. But I think that it's just a lot to deal with in Vegas. They don't have that much cohesiveness as an offense to kind of help him out. So I think that hurts him a bit.
I
But I
think
think moving forward, to me, he stays in my top 12. I have him at 11. So
yeah, I have him at number 10. I think that he actually does put up a really solid season this year. I think he's going to actually make me it's going to come back to bite me putting him at 10 because, you have Ruggs getting his first season under his belt. However, unfortunately he didn't really do much there, but I think kind of like what you said, a little bit of uncohesiveness. I think they start to form the bond there, in that new stadium. And I think that he comes back this year and makes me comes back to bite me on putting him at number 10.
10 on the ADP from last year, Kenyon Drake.
He falls out of my 12.
He's out of my 12 as well. In his spot at 10, I've got Robinson.
Okay. Yeah, so like I said, 10, I have Jacobs. Robinson follows behind him at number 11 for me.
And on the ADP 11 from this past year is Mixon.
I even have Mixon falling out of my 12.
So he rounds out my list. I have Jacob, so I said I put at 11, down from 9 on the ADP, and at 12, I have Mixon. Also injured last year. I think both him and Burrow back healthy, reinvigorate that offense. I believe there will be free agent buyers as far as receivers because I don't believe they bring back AJ Green, who's one of the biggest names this year out of the wide receivers.
Yeah, I don't think AJ Green's going to be back there. However, I just think with the injuries that kind of makes me stray away from him. There's a decent amount of other guys I'd rather have before I go out and get Mixon. And well, to round off my top 12, I have David Montgomery.
Really?
Yep. Finished top.
I just
I'm
think
sorry,
there's
he
too many
finished fourth.
question marks there.
He finished fourth in total points for fantasy. And I believe he was a rookie this past season, and he had a really strong outing, if it was.
He was not a rookie.
Is he second year then?
I might be third. Might want to check on that.
Oh, yeah, 2 years.
Yeah.
Well, all in all, he still finished fourth for overall fantasy points. And, with the Bears possibly having a new QB over there, I think that they stay with the running game. And then also, since they have Allen Robinson, might not have him next season. And then
Chris chimes in.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. I was just going to say, Chris says that Tyreek Cohen won't be there either. It seems that is part of the potential Wentz trade. It will be Tyreek Cohen and a first for Wentz.
However, I just saw that the Bears are getting impatient with the Eagles, and they actually are starting to think that they overvalued Wentz.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, I wouldn't touch Wentz with a first round pick. He wasn't even worth the first round pick that they used on him.
At this point, I mean, got you to the playoffs, and the now Chicago Bear Nick Foles won it for them. So, how much value really was there?
I feel like Nick Foles just always circles back around to the Eagles.
Yeah. That wraps it up for us and the ADP review on the top 12 running backs from this past year. Josh, if you want to take it home for us.
All right. So, be honest with you, I kind of had my little outro scheduled as if we were supposed to have a show next week. However, based on the title of the show, an average finale, this is the last episode or show for this season, I guess you could say. And we will return on. Give me a second. What are we saying, Kevin? March 2nd?
I believe is that the first Tuesday of March?
Yeah.
Then March 2nd.
So we will return here on March 2nd at 8 p.m. And before that happens, you guys would definitely want to go and check out the Fanatically Real broadcast tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time to wrap up Brian's season, so to say. And we will be hosting our annual FSA award ceremony where we congratulate our rookie general manager of the year as well as our general manager of the year. And then after that, you guys can head on over to Twitch and catch myself, where we pretty much just chill, have a good time, get away from the football, get away from the Tom Brady talks. And like I said, just have a good time. And I'm going to pop Chris's comment up here. It says, sign up to Discord. Yes, if you are a member of FSA or if you are wanting to become a member of FSA, am I saying this correctly, Kevin?
Yes, if you are a member of FSA, former member of FSA, or would like to join FSA, please reach out to either myself or Brian and Chris as well, and we will get you a link to join the FSA Discord server. We will be moving everybody over to that for the 2021 season away from GroupMe. So please do so to get any updates. A lot of good stuff going on there. Thank you again to Chris for getting us set up on that.
Yes, thank you, Chris. Discord has so many other options to offer that even I didn't know about. So kudos to you for getting us on that train. And yes, guys, if you are a part of the group me chat, come 2021 season, that will be no longer. So you would be kind of just sitting in an empty room by yourself, talking to yourself. So make sure you guys get a hold of either that guy over there, the head honcho himself, Brian, or Chris, and they will get you all set up on Discord. And pretty much, I believe that wraps it up. And before we head on out of here, we would like to say thank you for watching the Average Bros Fantasy Football Show. We would like to thank you for an amazing 2020 season. It has been an amazing ride. It has been an honor speaking for me and my average brother Kevin to be brought onto the FSA family, and we look forward to having many more seasons with you guys. But of course, if you like the show, please like, share, and subscribe to the show and follow us on all of our social media outlets. And before we head out, I want to thank all of our sponsors: QB54, our Arm and Leg League sponsor; Football Darts, our broadcast sponsor; Nature Coast Tailgating, our World Championship sponsor; and then all of our bowl sponsors: Finger Lakes Mercantile, Cranky Veteran Candle Company, Southern Sirens Sugar Scrub, Deep South Creations, and of course, the Recasts, who are the official music of FSA. Kevin, final words.
I just want to reiterate what you said. Thank you to everybody that tuned in and listened to us live on Facebook, YouTube, or on Twitter. Then everyone, in addition, who went back out on Anchor, Spotify, Google Play, and anywhere else you might download a podcast for your listening pleasure, and taking a listen to myself and my average brother Josh here. Look forward to season 2. Look forward to fantasy next year and playing with you all in all the different leagues that FSA offers. Josh?
Pretty much. First off, Damian, Golden Boys are coming for you next season. Guys, as well as Kevin, I hope you all have an amazing night, week, a couple weeks before we come back. And everyone, remember, kickers are people too.